everybody. Welcome to Wool and Wine, episode 14. I'm Tammy.
I'm Claudia.
I'm Janet.
So, one of our viewers mentioned that they thought it was rude to open a bottle of wine and have your friends over and then sit the wine behind you and not ever taste it. So, we decided that we would have a sip before we get started. So, cheers.
And I love the idea.
It's delicious.
It is
Very, very tasty.
Super yummy. Okay.
most definitely.
So we're filming today from Bellbrook, Ohio, at Tammy's house, which is a south suburb of Dayton, Ohio.
And this is your weather report. There were tornadoes and things around us yesterday. Not really close, but just a few towns away. It was some horrific weather. So our hearts go out to all the people where they actually touched down, and entire towns, like little developments, were devastated. That was just horrific.
Yeah.
So
I think that was in Kansas.
yeah, we're
That was
thinking about all
amazing.
of you. That's
So
just
tough.
rough.
Yeah.
Yes.
So today we have a pretty full episode. I know if you watched last time, you know that we had a little oops again with our recording. So I'm bringing back the things because it was like almost a half an hour of stuff that, and so Janet and I tried to record Claudia after the last one had a wine dinner, and Janet's husband came over and we sat around and went ahead and had dinner and drinks, and then we decided we were going to record that little episode again, but we couldn't figure out how to get the sound. It was fine on my iPad, but by the time you uploaded it to the app, the sound was gone, and we just couldn't get it, and we had too much wine by then to really figure it out. So we're gonna rehash the projects at that point. So we should probably start with, do you have something? Oh,
What we're wearing.
well, here's the other thing. We forgot. Thank you all for viewing and commenting. We've hit 2,000 subscribers.
Yay.
Yay.
So thank you all so very much. Welcome everybody. New viewers, welcome back to returning viewers, because that's pretty exciting. And we love getting your comments.
Yes.
So if you like
Very
the
much.
content today, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it looks like the stats show that about half of the people that watch us on a regular basis are not actually subscribed. So I know, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
I like to know when my people are coming, when the videos that I like to watch are coming back. But
Yeah.
anyway, so what are you wearing?
Oh, I'm wearing a lovely Tofino Sand by Natalie V. And the yarn I used is a Marisol Hooney in the colorway Peridot. I had to think about that a second. Duh. How do I say that again? Anyway, here. So you guys are going to keep hearing about this because I have a big stash of this yarn. And it's a worsted weight, and I have to say I love the yarn. Absolutely love it. And,
Well, the definition's great.
and then here's my Tofino Sand. You can see all the baubles, and it was a fun knit. I really enjoyed it. Although I didn't enjoy the part where I had to go backwards and rip it out because it was too big.
Oh, right. Is that the one that was the yoke was just ginormous and we couldn't?
Yeah. So I ripped it back and then I started over and I got it right. And I did make a modification because if you look at the pattern and these little V's, it has upside down V's. It has purl knits, and I didn't like the way that looked because I looked at the project pages and somebody had done this and I just thought it looked a lot better. So that's what I did.
You're the boss of your knitting.
I'm the boss of my knitting. That's right. And I think when I first wore this, I decided it was too short, so I picked up stitches and added some more to the ribbing on the bottom.
It looks great.
Yeah, I think the length is perfect.
Yeah, you can see it in the viewfinder. It just shows that little bit of your hip right here of your jeans.
Yeah, so it's perfect. And then I guess I should talk about this because I had this on when I got here and I got warm and then I took it off. I was at home and I had this sweater on and I got really cold, so I pulled this out. It is called, is that the right side out?
Yes.
Can't believe
It's hard to tell.
Oh, this is the right
The stars
side.
are the right side?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the right side. And I have to go back to my cheat sheet because I didn't write this down. Oops, this is gonna hang on one second. Be patient. Oh, please. Oh, goodness. I thought I had it ready to go, but I didn't. There it is. It is called Desert Sunset Shawl by Amy Christoffers. And let's see, I need to show you close up of the colors. The green, it's got navy blue, and then it has this, which I just absolutely love. And I'll tell you what that is here in a second. And these are all slip stitches. And then I think that's, yeah, so that's the tip. So let me tell you what the colors are. The yarn I used is Madeline Tosh Light, and this it's called Ceremony, which I think is the blue. So it's a navy blue, and then the red with the green and is called Mod Squad, and that's Dream Jilly with Cashmere.
Oh, it looks like it has cashmere. Look how soft and fluffy that
It is. It's super, it's super soft.
Yeah.
And then the green, which was just my accent color, was a Dream Smushy with Cashmere as well. And colorway Joshua Tree.
Which is the perfect match for what you're wearing.
Yeah,
I mean, that just looks, it looks so good
gorgeous
with it.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, I'll put it on so you guys can see. It's always hard to figure out exactly how to wrap it, but because I don't like it too tight against my neck, but there we go.
That's pretty darn close. I'd say that's a winner. Winner, winner,
There's
chicken
a
dinner.
winner.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. So,
Oh my
and this was a
gosh.
fun knit too. I mean,
You did that a long time ago.
a very long time, yeah.
So that was probably within your first 6 months or so anyway
Oh
of
yeah,
knitting.
finished September of 19, and we started in March, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I made one
6
of those
months
too.
into it,
Yeah.
almost exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I made
Hers
one
is
too.
beautiful,
I don't
too.
know if it was the same time or a little
It was
different
right
time.
after, I think.
Right after?
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah. Yeah. So when somebody
pretty.
makes something that's gorgeous, yeah, we just,
right? Just
Yeah.
like I have my eye on that Tofino sand, like, I know that's going to be on my radar to make.
it should. It's yeah.
So pretty.
So that yarn, let's talk about that yarn for a second because it is really good to know. This is a really round, good firm twist, and it makes all those twisted stitches and bobbles and stuff just pop. That looks so gorgeous.
Yeah. I have two and a half skeins left of this. Not enough for a sweater, but color work.
Well, yeah, and don't I have exactly that same color? Or is
No,
mine- I
you
have the darker.
jade.
Oh, I have
You
the jade. Okay.
Yes.
Oh well, I was gonna say once I make something with mine, I'll have leftovers too, so you could add it to it.
Yeah, and like I said, I have a stash of that, so you will be seeing more.
That's so
You'll
funny.
probably be going, "Oh my gosh, Claudia, really?"
I use a lot of Knit Picks yarns.
You do, yeah, yeah.
So what are you wearing?
So, I am wearing the Latte Sweater by Kadri. And I finished this
A little while ago.
I think it was the last episode.
Yeah.
I finished it. So I wanted to wear it. And I wanted to highlight this beautiful yarn, which is the Bahram U Natural Aran Weight. Natural Aran Weight. Wool. And the color is cream marl. And I just love it. It's just a very natural, very lightly processed yarn.
Yeah.
And
It fits you perfectly.
I just love it.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah. Looks great.
Thank you.
All right. Is that all you have? Is that all you have to say about it?
Did you make any modifications?
No, it's to
It
pattern.
is.
Pretty much
That's
to
good.
pattern. I mean, you know, I didn't make the neck maybe quite as tall, but you can make it however you want.
Right.
Made the bottom, you know, a nice 3-inch hem.
Gotta get my
Long sleeves. I mean, everything's pretty much
Just two patterns.
just to pattern.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I am wearing the drawing sweater by Tomomi Yashimoto. And here it is.
Oh, so beautiful.
I've been talking about it for a while. Let me get my hair out of the way so you can see the back. All those short rows that made me just about nuts in the very beginning. And you can see here how much deeper it is with the white and
yeah.
shallow in the front and very deep in the back on that bit. But I did make a modification. I made the sleeves straight instead of tapered. I like them like that. And then, of course, they're bracelet length because that's kind of what I always do. But I absolutely love this. I knit this in Purl Soho good wool. And so the brown color is called
Hazelnut, chestnut.
Hickory nut.
Hickory nut.
Hickory nut. And then the cream color is winter grass, I think. Yes, winter grass. And I held those together with Hobbii alpaca silk lace weight. And they had one in ecru and one in taupe that blend perfectly with these two colors. It kind of just adds depth to the color without changing the color.
Yep.
Love it. That good wool is some good wool.
It is.
It is. And they keep having sales. And it just keeps sucking me in. I've been holding off, but I'll talk about some more of their yarn here in a bit that I've worked with just recently. And man, oh man, it's some good stuff.
Yeah. They have beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful yarn.
So we have finishes today.
Yeah. Not all.
Not a lot. We got a
But
lot.
we have them.
We have a lot of whips, but we each have a finish. So
Yes, we do.
you want to go first?
Sure. So this is one I've been working on. It's the Humulus by Isabel Kramer. And it is in Fables and Fairy Tales, Dark Magic, and Spin Cycle, Dream State, End of Summer. And here we are, all finished. Yep. I like it, and it fits really well. Like I said, I did make modification in that it called for a major increase up in this area, and I'm thinking this already fits me. I don't need it to be any bigger. And so that kind of did throw off my count when I got to my sleeves. And so I increased up to the smallest size so that wouldn't be so, I'd have enough on my sleeves. And I think one thing I would have done different is maybe add more stitches underneath here, because it's it's form fitting. It's not too tight, but it, you know, just if I wanted it a little bit more baggy. So if that's something you guys are thinking of, you can do that. And then on the hem, I went down 2 sizes for the ribbing, and then I did a stretchy bind off because a lot of my sweaters seem to puff flare out by my belly, so I didn't want that. So,
So did it work out? And
Yeah, it's
does it rest
perfect.
real nice? Okay.
It's perfect. Yeah. So
That's great, and it's beautiful.
yeah, and these were the colors you guys picked.
That's right. That's the one that
Yeah.
she did the survey on.
Yeah, and so you guys were right. The one thing I will say though, this yarn, this background yarn, the Fables and Fairy Tales Dark Magic, while I liked the yarn, it did, when I was blocking it, it did fade or bleed quite a bit, and I think it kind of discolored this top yellow because it was so bright before. It's not quite as bright, but I still like it. It's just something that I'm going to have to be careful with because I still have probably 3 skeins of it left, so it's going to have to be a solo, or I'm going to have to.
Is it already in skeins, or did you wind it in balls?
One's in a
Okay.
ball, and the other are in skeins.
I'll tell you what, I learned my lesson on my Killer Queen cowl that I talked about a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
That whole scarn super soft, slow on the cone, bled so bad on my yarn that I have decided if I knit with a dark yarn and I plan on holding it with something, before I cake it up in a ball, or wind it into a cake is more accurate. I'm gonna soak it, just give it a wash and see, just to make sure, because sometimes a swatch, it's in a bowl.
Yeah, it's small. And
You can't really tell if it's gonna bleed that much, but boy, you get a whole sweater in there or a whole big cowl, and that can ruin a project so easily, and I am not up for having things bleed. So
Yeah. Right.
you might want to just go ahead and, give the other ones a pre-wash that are still in a skein.
Yeah.
And the other one, you could easily wind that back onto your Swift and
Yeah.
tie it again and put it in with them, and just so you don't have that problem in the future. And you just don't know.
See, now I was wondering, okay, when I was pulling it out, if I would have rinsed it with clear water, if that would have helped at all.
I'll tell you, when it's 100% wool and it's not superwash,
This is-
you risk so much.
This is super.
Those are superwash? Well, I mean, you probably could have then, because it could stand. I mean, I do my superwash socks in the washing machine and I just lay them to dry. And I know that would it's probably freaking people out, but I do, and they wash beautifully, and they've never, they don't felt or anything. If
Well,
they're
I was just
superwash.
thinking taking cold water and just rinsing it out, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, color catchers don't even grab it all.
Because
It's-
I used to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once you see the water getting dark, though, you just have to snatch it out of there and drain it right away, because otherwise you're,
I've definitely done that.
yeah. And you have a thing of something now, or I mean that you're going to talk about in today's
Right.
episode where you had that happen.
Well, I soaked it for 2 days, but I sort of forgot about it.
Well, it was just a tiny little swatch.
Yeah, it was a little swatch for 2 days, but hello, that did make a difference. It did bleed.
I have forgotten about sweaters for well overnight and into the next day, and walk in the laundry room and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess I should do something here. It happens. All right, so do you want to talk about your finished object?
Certainly.
Sure. I'm checking the time.
So I made and completed the Selbu cowl by Inga Ski. And here it is.
Oh, that's
So
pretty.
In all its
pretty.
glory.
You did such a good
So,
job with that.
I know, your first color work.
Yeah, my first color work. So I used 2 yarns, the Sheepish Creations Superwash Merino Chainette in the colorway Cream for the main color, and then for the color work I used the Expression Fiber Arts Alpaca Silk Decay. and it was an Odyssey Hues kit. And I actually used 2 different colors. So there was one here at the bottom, and then I helical knitted it with another skein with a little bit darker. So it kind of has a little bit of
You
a
can't
fade.
really see it.
You
I'm trying
can't
to
really
tell in
tell.
the viewfinder. I mean, we've got the laptop here that is front-facing camera, and I can't see the difference in that. But
Right.
boy, I'll tell you what, the colorwork sure does show up.
It does.
Yeah, it's just a
really
little
nice.
bit, but I think if I was to do this over again, I'd use 2 plain colors because you could see the pattern better. But I do love this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you did a great
I
job.
do love
too.
how this turned out, even though if I had like a plain color for the color work and a dark plain color, you'd really be able to see the pattern. But it's nice. And I'll put it on here. Real quickly so you can
Oh,
see what it
look,
looks
yeah,
like.
that's nice.
Oh,
That's
that's
gonna
so
be
pretty.
toasty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
That is
it.
good,
Kinda-
yeah, and it matches your eyes.
You can do all kinds of things, like, if it gets really cold, or
Yeah,
just kind of want to just,
You maybe even be able to roll
Keep
it
it
over and make
warm.
it into like a ear warmer or something.
Oh right, yeah,
right, so just a
beautiful,
little,
nicely done. Congratulations on your first color work
Yeah,
success.
thank you.
That's
now I'm
so
ready to
good.
do garments color work.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because you did such an even job.
I am really happy with it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should be.
you
That's
should be.
really great. We're
Yeah.
proud of you.
Yep.
Turned
We knew you could do it. You were just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, my biggest thing was it was 52 stitch color work.
Repeat, yeah.
Repeat. And I had problems as far as keeping track of where I was at. And I'd get done with my 52 stitches and I would end up with the wrong thing. So then
Yeah.
I had to go back. So I did that for a while. But
Well, there's a trick to that.
I did put the markers in there,
Yeah.
but still.
But what you can do if it's a really big chart is just take a highlighter or something and draw a line to break it up. You could even draw 2 lines if 52 is too many. And wherever the line is, put a marker, and then you're only dealing with that many at a time. So,
Good idea.
yeah, because there's,
That's
there's
another-
all kinds of ways to make knitting easier. So, all right. Okay, so I have a half-finished object this time. If you remember, I was on vacation, so I just got back really late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So I have the DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mowry. And one is finished. Oh, I hope that the stellina is showing up. So this is an all-over ribbed sock. Isn't that cool?
That is
I
so
really
pretty.
hope that the light's catching that stellina because we can see it really well
Yeah,
here.
it's got sparkles all through it.
So the yarn that I used is Fibernymph Dyeworks Bedazzled base in the Blue Jay colorway. And so a couple of years ago, let me see if it says April of 2021, this was the Backyard Birdwatchers Club, and I signed up for that for the 3 months. And these were, so Lisa did self-striping yarn based on the colors of birds that she saw in her own backyard. So I have 2 more colorways from this club that I was in. And here's what the yarn looks like in a skein. Oh, there we go. Just got to hide Janet's face. But it's got all these gorgeous blues and grays and whites. And then I actually have cast on the second sock because I do not want second sock syndrome. It's really a thing.
How cute.
Yeah, I know, right? And then the toe of this, she actually, so with this yarn, there was a mini skein that looks like the eggs. It's colored like the eggs of the birds, so that was really cool. But I had the skein of Millimia Sweden yarn, and I think that this is a Knit Picks. Actually, a Knit Picks. Oh, Lovecrafts yarn. And so this is 75% wool, 25% polyamide, but the blue is just perfect for this. It's not an exact match, but it's a really good blend. And I got to take it off the sock blocker. I know that you guys have, or many of you have seen other people make this, but it's the perfect sock on a blocker. And when you take it off, that looks like that would fit no one.
Oh my goodness.
But I know, isn't
What a
that so
difference.
funny?
I know.
Yeah. But it looked like it would fit a human foot, and it does. This is the perfect height for my socks. I wear a lot of short boots, and I like just so much sticking out of the top, but man, these are great. So it was funny as I'm knitting along, yeah. I'm looking at it the whole time going, wow, that just doesn't look like it's gonna fit anybody. So I cast on, I used a US 1, and I cast this on a 47-inch Chiagu fixed circular needle. And then once I got the toe finished, because it's a toe-up sock, and this was the first time I've ever done a toe-up sock, and I actually, maybe I can show it easier on the little nubbin of one. But you do this Turkish cast on, and it looks better than a Kitchener stitch. It's just this really cool way that you wrap, and I saw it on, I think I watched 3 different YouTube videos to see how different people do it. But you just basically wrap it around 2 needles and then turn them to knit, pull your bottom needle out and start knitting across, and flip them over and knit across. And what was wrapped around the needles has now become an actual stitch on the top and the bottom. And then you just keep going, doing your increases until you're at the right stitch count. And then you go right into the 2x2. But here, this is how I prefer to do them on a 9-inch circular, and just going round and round. But I have to wear finger cut. I poke my finger, and man, I made blood the other day.
I've done that too.
Oh, it's tender. It's like,
It is very tender.
yeah, it's
yes.
kind of crazy. But
You don't want to poke it twice.
no, I did
done
poke
that.
it twice, and man, the second time I howled.
Yes.
And then I dug out my finger cut, or little rubber tip from my finger, and that saves me from the rest of it. But I am absolutely loving working on these. I have had doctor's appointments lately. It was time for my annual physical, and then I went back and had, my toe is still broken, people. Remember back on August 1st, right after we first started podcasting, I broke my toe babysitting. Oh yeah, it's still broken. It's finally CT scan. Today's Tuesday, yesterday morning. They finally have said that it's showing signs of beginning to heal. So, woo.
Yeah,
I am
that's
so
good.
excited about that, to get my life back and be able to do things with 2 feet. So anyway, I've had all these doctor appointments, just, blood work and all this. I'm taking those socks with me. And if I get a round or 2 sitting there in the waiting room, I'm happy with that. And it gives me something to do instead of just messing with my phone. So that's a score.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you have a
Whip? Happens to be sitting in my lap.
I think you do.
I think I do. And this is the Daily Pullover by Paula Piera. I think, am I saying that right?
Pereira.
Pereira. Okay. And the yarn is Purl Soho Linen Quill in colorway Fresh Pickle. Yeah, I know, right?
It
That's
looks
what
like a fresh
happens.
pickle.
It does look like a fresh pickle. And I showed it to you last time. I think I was still just got started on it. But now I have divided for sleeves, and I'm in a knit part.
Wow, coming along.
Yeah, it is coming along. You are going to love that.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going on a trip in April, and I want to be able to take it with me.
Oh,
So I'm
that's good,
trying to
yeah.
work on it, because I don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be probably some cool days, and so I will need these kinds of things. So.
That'll be nice for your
Yeah.
trip.
It will. So I took mine when to the trip to Curacao, and I wore it on the airplane over a silky blouse on the way down and on the way back, so that I could take it off once, because we flew to Miami, and I didn't need the sweater in Miami, but I sure needed it here, and I needed it on the airplane. So that is a perfect weight, and it got a bath again the other day. So,
Oh, got a bath.
yeah, you're absolutely, well, I wore it on the airplane.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot of germs on airplanes, but you are going to love that. So are you going to do the neckline before you start the sleeves, just to make sure?
I think I'm going to probably take, just finish this skein out and then do the neckline.
Yeah, it's always a good idea before doing the sleeves.
Yeah, definitely.
I was watching a podcast this morning, and someone was talking about doing one sleeve and then trying it on and going, oh yeah, it's perfect. They hadn't done the neckline yet and the other sleeve, but went ahead and did the second sleeve just like the first one, and then went back and did the neck, and both sleeves were too short.
Oh, shoot.
So,
That's annoying.
bracelet length instead of long, where they like them long, and I'm like, it's because you should always do the neckline first. Every
Right.
designer says, it's at the end for finishing, but it makes sense to do it first just so you can see how it's going to pull it in. I even think it makes sense to do it sometimes. I mean, we've both done that one, so we know that the raglan on that is deep enough.
Well, and I did have to go, because we measured it when you were gone, and it looked like it needed to maybe be like a half an inch more. So I just went down the extra half an inch so that I made sure it was not going to be in my armpit.
Yeah, right. But sometimes the neckline can pull those up a little bit, and it makes it more in your pit. So I often do that before I even separate for the sleeves, but that one's going to be fine.
They didn't have a choice, because I couldn't put the neckline on until
That comes later on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. But oh my gosh, you're going to love wearing that.
I'm looking forward to it.
We'll wear all three of them for you guys
Next
when
one
we
of
get
these
them,
times.
when we get them all three done. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be a little color palette, because I have green, yours is gray, and yours is blue, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
that'll be pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty side by side.
Yeah.
So what do you have? I know you're working on stuff.
I have 2 whips. So, not a lot today, but I do have some things. First whip is the Avalanche sweater by Heidi Kermeyer.
Oh my goodness.
Look how far you've come.
Yes, I've made some progress
I am
on
really
this.
I'm going to just sit it back here. Yes, you have made some progress. Oh my goodness.
I'm making progress to the point where
So pretty.
I'm
Oh my
gonna
god.
be getting to the hemline here pretty soon.
Oh, that is really gorgeous. What
Yeah.
yarn are you
And
using?
this yarn, got the tag for it, is the Cloudborn Natural, let's see what it's called. It's called the Bulky Natural Kettle Dyes.
Wow. This is definitely heavier than what we did before with
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cascade
Yeah, eco wool.
Eco Wool.
Eco Wool,
yeah.
yes.
Boy, that really is.
And the color of this is River Water.
This thing weighs 3 pounds. I'm kidding. It can't.
I'll tell you what, too, it's nice and warm.
Oh yeah, I bet it
You
is.
put this on.
That
Or
is.
just holding it.
Yeah.
Just holding it.
Having it in your
It's
lap,
just,
yeah.
Oh,
Gosh,
keeps
that
you nice and
looks
warm.
so good. I mean, we haven't. we all three did this in a rustic yarn that's not, it doesn't have that beautiful twist. That makes such a difference. Holy moly.
Now the funny thing about this, funny thing about this is, so there's a medium 1 and a medium 2. So the medium 1 was 39 inch and the medium 2 is a 42. So I circled the 42 and all the things, and I get to a point in the pattern where it's like, okay, here's the counts, right? So this was like I think right before you get to the sleeves or something. And so my numbers all turned out to be the medium 1. Oops. So, but it really is going to be fine. Because it's really pretty much, I know it says 39, but I think it's going to block out. It's going to be a beautiful, probably 40 inches. And it's going to, I've tried it on multiple times. It's going to fit. It's not quite the size I wanted it, but I think it's going to turn out really nice.
Well, it's not like you're going to wear it.
Yeah, and when you block it, it might stretch out too.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
This yarn does bloom, at least on my swatch. It's so much softer than it is now even. And it kind of opens up a little bit. So whatever I did, somehow must have circled something wrong. But I'm really happy with it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
My other sweaters, longer that I made, because I've made this before, like we talked about, it's a little longer, and I'm going to make this one a little shorter than the other one. And so it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to
Not
look
as much
completely
ease
different.
and just it's going to, yeah. So I'm really happy with it.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And the raglan seam here doesn't show up as much on our other one as it does on this. That
It
just
shows up
pops.
really, really well.
Yeah, everything. That yarn just with that nice round plump twist, it just really,
Yeah,
the definition is really good.
Yeah, it has this gentleman look too, so it's going to look really good with jeans.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be great. It looks
So-
good with the
I
gray
was gonna
jeans
say,
that you
yeah.
have on.
Because it almost has a blue-gray undertone.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
good with everything. You're going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Your turn.
My turn. Okay, so I last time had started a test knit for Samantha. The name of the sweater is Eyre, E-Y-R-E, and it's by Samantha, also known as the Strikkachik. And I started this, gosh, a week or maybe only a few days before we left on vacation, and it is a bulky weight, and I just wasn't going to take this to the beach. I was afraid, or even sitting around the pool. It was just too much for a vacation. So let's see, where's the front? Okay, so here it is. Look at the definition of those cables. Oh my gosh, and the seed stitch, it's just beautiful. A lot of short rows. This is the back, so you can see how much longer the back is than the front. So there was lots and lots and lots of chatter about it while I was on vacation, and I tried really hard to pay attention to what was going on. But it was hard because some of the people didn't have their yarn yet, and some were starting, but were just really appear to be beginner knitters, which is really great to know that you can do something with this much detail. And so there were just a lot of questions, and I decided that it was better just to stop paying attention at that point and wait until I got home to really get into that. So I'm holding a couple of yarns together to get that bulky, and this is not the yarn that I purchased for it. I had this in my stash, so that makes it just wonderful. So I have Berroco Vibe And that one is, oh boy, what color? Color 1555, and that is Poppy, the color Poppy. So this is a very red color, and then I'm also holding that with Alpaca Bloom, Knit Picks Alpaca Bloom, and you can see that that's a deep cranberry color. So the two together are just making this beautiful red. And so now that I'm back, I got all the updated files for, including all the changes that were made while I was away. And this is now going to be my focus. And I think I can have it done in about a week. It's due on March 24th, I think. So if this looks familiar, this combination, I did the Sunday sweater in exactly this yarn, this combination of yarn, and I love wearing it. So it's got, the vibe is 45% organic cotton, 45% wool, and 10% nylon. And so I think it's going to be nice and cool to wear even though it's a bulky weight. So I don't have any worries about making the deadline for the test knit. So hopefully 2 weeks next time we podcast, I should have that done. And so that's kind of exciting. Good. So I have a lot because we skipped so many last time. Should I do one more in between?
Yes.
How are we doing?
Okay, sure. But I think I'm going to reset that because, we probably...
Alrighty, so the next whip I have is the Waffle Loop sweater by Other Loops. And I have actually put a little more work into this. I am loving this sweater so much. So I'll tell you about the yarn first. It is Cascade Eco plus Hemp, and the colorway is Iguana. It's color 19, and this is the sweater that when I saw it on Instagram, I just had to have it. So there's a lot of ends because of the way you do different bits of it and tuck all those in so it's not so distracting. But a lot of green today. This is a really green episode.
It's our green show.
So look at all the cables on that. And I think I showed the sleeves last time. So those are done. I'm just working my way down the body. And of course the neckline wasn't supposed to be done until the very end, but I wanted to make sure that the sleeves were the right length. And so I am working my way down. The sleeves are pretty deep. So I don't think the body is going to be 12 inches. I think it probably is going to be about 11 because it's such a low armpit.
That was
But
gorgeous.
my gosh, I
So
cannot.
pretty.
I can't wait to get this.
I can't wait to see it on.
To get it done. Yeah. This pattern is so intuitive. Like this cable only crosses, I think it's like 8 or 10 rows. And these are just left and right twist. No cable, needle needed for any of this in the middle. All this waffle pattern that's on the sleeves and the top, front and back, and then down the sides on either side of this ribbing. It's the most intuitive thing ever. It's a 4-row repeat, and you don't even really need to look at the chart, but you do need to cross it off. You have to look because you need to cross it off. But God, I love this yarn.
Good, because I have a lot.
Yeah, this is really great. It reminds me so much of Linen Quill by Purl Soho. It's just those, the hemp in here is just like the linen bits. It's little white fibers that you end up pulling out as you go. I don't mean to. I want to leave them in there. Because it's part of the charm of it.
Right.
And part of the sweater's been blocked. I think I blocked it when I had like half of one sleeve done just to see how much that was going to grow. So it'll be interesting when I block it again. And it grew about an inch in the, 3/4 or half of the sleeve.
Oh.
So I wrote the numbers down so I could use that to gauge how long I needed them to be. And hopefully my math is going to work out. Okay, so back to you.
Oh, my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So my next net is it's called The Cartwright by Jenny Atkinson. And I am doing it in a Cascade 220, and there's 4 different colors involved. And this is the body, the color of the body. And then there's going to be some color work and slip stitches. It's going to be a long process. I have to do 4 inches of ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, and I'm on a size 2. So I don't know what else I can tell you about it other than it's, I don't know if I'll show it every time because it's going to be one of those that I pick up every now and then. And so it'll probably take me a while, but it's going to be gorgeous.
I feel that because I bet,
I know, we
Yeah.
all
And
have
it hasn't
some of
been
those.
blocked yet.
except I don't have any.
You don't have
You don't
any
have
of
I
those?
wanted to get some, but then I didn't.
This is
Oh.
fingering weight, and then they have another weight, right? And
Yeah,
I
they
have
have
it
it in DK.
And worsted.
Yeah.
I've got that same color.
Yeah.
Is that silver?
Yes.
Oh, I think it is worsted.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
that's
what I was
worsted,
thinking
yeah.
of.
Yeah, so this
They
is
probably have
silver.
I bet they-
all the weights.
Yes.
Here, I'll show you a sample. I started knitting some of the color work. I wanted to make sure all the colors stood out, and this is the charcoal gray, and so that's going to be nice with the color work. And let's see, somewhere I have my other swatch that I'm debating on the yellow tone. This is, Sunset. I think this is Sunset, and the orange is Sunset from Holsgarn, super soft. And up here is lemon yellow. And then I have one other color I want to try. Here, I'll show. Just because, I don't know, because I'm perfect. Sometimes I get really funny about my colors and I have to be perfect. So I'm going to try this color next. This is Maize.
It's right in between the two, right?
Yeah, it's right in between, and I really like the color she used in hers, in her sample, or in her sweater, and so I'm trying to kind of get closer to that. But so I don't have to worry about this for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
Because it's at the top. I have the whole bottom part to come up in, so yeah. And the modification I'm making is I'm doing it in the round because the pattern calls for flat, do the front and the back, and I'm doing it in the round. And I know it's gonna be perfect with the color work because I've done all the math. And then the only thing I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this in the round, except after I get past the sleeve separation, because some of it's below the sleeve separation.
Right.
So, although I guess I could just separate down, below when I start this. But I'll play around with it and see if I
That's
can do that.
slip stitch?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
It can't be that hard.
No, I'm sure it's not. I just have to take the time to do it and write it up.
Yeah.
Wonder why I shouldn't do it in the round.
I don't know. I couldn't figure that out myself. And so, but I know other people have done it in the round because some of the projects I looked at said they did.
So is that a chart?
No, it's like an 8. Do I have?
It's a written 8-row repeat or something written. Oh, it is. There's a chart, but is that color work?
No, those are the color work. So it starts here, the tweed pattern,
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
because you're using all the different colors
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah. So I just need to play around with it and see if I can figure out the in the round part. If not, I'll just separate when I start with this.
Yeah, just cast on one extra stitch. So
On
you
each
have
side.
something to
Yeah.
seam up.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be beautiful.
It
Your
is.
colors are great. You can't go wrong. Any of those. The orange is a little orange,
I'm
but
not
the
fond of
yellow
orange.
and this one that you have here
Yeah, those might work.
those are Really both great options.
Yeah.
All right, so, okay, this is exciting. So I have the Lyrah from Natasja Hornby that I showed on the last episode, or I tried to. I'm not sure if that was one that you actually got to see, but I have made some progress on this since I got home as well. Gosh,
pretty.
look at that. So I am using Purl Soho Wigeon, and it's 3 different colorways. I have Whiskey Brown, Honeysuckle Pink, and then this one is Eucalyptus Gray. Look at that beauty. So the gray is almost a green gray. I'm not you know how some of them, the grays are like a gray gray, a blue gray, a green gray?
This is a gray, light gray.
Well, they're almost exactly the same. Never
That's
mind. So maybe it's not.
Maybe not.
Maybe it's a gray, and I've just had it with so much green laying around me. But I am loving this. It is, so far, the only modification I made was I was a little concerned about it being too snug because it's all slip stitch, but you can see in the back that it is, or like the inside, that all those yarns are overlapping. You know, when you slip, it's 2 layers, so it's going to be warm, I think. And I didn't want it to be super snug. So somewhere right about the upper bust, I went up a needle size, which you cannot tell at all by looking at. I wrote the row down on my pattern where I did that. And then when I got under the arm, I cast on some extra stitches that as soon as I get past the bust, I'm going to, and maybe like just like not quite past, but just right before the bottom of that area, I'm gonna reduce those back down on the side. So it'll be mostly in the armpit, so it won't really be seen. And I will reduce them out right away in the sleeve. But I just wanted to make sure, and I tried it on, and it's actually plenty loose through here.
That's good.
When Natasja wears it on her project page, it fits her very close. But you know, she lives in a Nordic place and we don't. So I think it's a little cooler. Actually, I think she lives in Amsterdam or someplace in that vicinity.
That is so gorgeous.
Isn't that just?
I love that yarn.
Yeah,
Wigeon.
you know,
Is
it's
that so soft?
Purl Soho,
Is it
100% wool.
sport weight?
Yep, sport weight. And it's a nice round plump. And when I blocked this just to see, you know, what it was going to do, I don't know if you can see the halo. Maybe, but there's a bit of a halo on here. And it's just 100% wool, so it just kind of fluffed up nice. And I could tell when I was lifting it out of the soak, you know, when I gave it a bath and squeezing the water out of it, I could see the fluff starting to show as the water, you know, as I was squeezing it out. So that was really interesting. So do you have another that you're working on?
Yes, I do. It is called the, I have another too, Kaga Pullover. And that's by Ririko. R-I-R-I-K-O. How would you,
Berroco.
Ririco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. So
That's it, doesn't it? I mean,
that sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm using Drops Mohair Raspberry colorway in Queensland Rainbow Beach in Sundance.
Oh, wow.
So this is the Rainbow Beach. And then this is the Drops Raspberry. So using these two together, and this is actually has a little color change in it. And this starts doing a couple, doing a cap, the sleeve at the top.
So it's a saddle shoulder.
Saddle shoulder, yeah. I couldn't think how to say just what that was. Thank you.
No problem.
And this is the first saddle shoulder that I did. So you can see here, look, this is more yellow and then it turns more red up here, but
Oh, and that's the color change in your
Yes.
Queensland yarn?
Yes.
Oh. Wow,
That's
that is
beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah, I've been looking, I did a swatch and I kept going, I need to make something with this. I need to make something with it. And so I had a nice 21 gauge. And so I started looking and I found this and I thought this was kind of interesting. And so, yeah. And then you have the same pattern all around your midsection down here. So
That's cool. Yeah, they will have already seen the photo, but oh
Yeah.
my goodness. We haven't seen the photo yet.
Yeah.
You'll see that because of editing. So, gosh, that's exciting.
That's
Yeah.
really pretty.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, and then on the other side, I was like, well, maybe it's going to be, maybe I want to do this in a summer weight so I can do short sleeve, but maybe I'll continue in this.
Oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. How can you not keep going?
Yeah, the yarn. I'm real excied about the yarn. So
It's a subtle color change.
it is subtle, yeah.
Because of this beautiful mohair. Oh my gosh, that color with that is just,
Isn't that something?
it almost looks like you could eat it.
I know. Raspberry. That's why they call it raspberry.
Oh, is it? Yeah. It looks delicious.
Ice cream sherbet. It's
Yeah.
raspberry sherbet. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely get some fluff in our mouth on that one. Okay, so I do have another. I have a lot, actually. I'm sorry, you guys.
Okay.
So I was just looking at the bags down here. The next one I have is the Lune shawl by Natasja Hornby.
Uh-huh.
And this is a project that I took on the trip, and I sat at the pool every single day in the shade and worked on. And so the yarn will look familiar to the longtime viewers because I have used these colors or bought these colors for the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, the Twist and Turns cowl, and chose not to do that and ended up doing a completely different shawl. But I could smell the sunscreen when I pulled this out. There, it happens. It's just the way it is. So here
That
we
is something
go.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I did make a modification. So Natasja has a really gorgeous pattern in this part. Every place where the toffee color is, she had a beautiful stitch pattern that I knew would make me nuts trying to talk to friends, because we were on vacation with two other couples and you can't focus that much and still have a conversation. So I decided I couldn't just do it in all stockinette, but what I ended up doing was double seed stitch, which I only did 2 rows of each. So really it was a rib and an offset rib. I did it going down and coming back, and then offset it going down and coming back, and then 4 rows of stockinette in between. And it worked out
Looks
really
nice.
well. Oh yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be that way. But it was very easy to do that evenly all the way across. And then when I got to the slip stitch section of the bottom, I am just like, I can't hardly put it down. I am so addicted. The yarns I'm using are, and I didn't actually bring the balls, I just brought the labels, but it's palette fingering. And so the toffee color is toffee. The cream color is ecru, And then the gray, I have the asphalt heather, I think, but I had wound off some of my Holskarn Super Soft in Oxford Gray, and I'd already wound it off of the cone, and I'd loaned some to Janet for her mystery knit along the Kay Hopkins Winter Wonderland.
Correct.
And so she gave what she didn't use back, and then I had another one that was wound off, and I thought, you know, rather than just spit splice it and try and wind it back on the cone so it looked right, because I didn't want it to be separate from it. You know, it's easier to keep all that stuff together. I went ahead and used this, but I'm still going to be doing that with some part of it because I've got quite a bit. There's a lot left, and the stuff just goes. It's the cone that just keeps giving, which is wonderful. I love it, and I'll do a lot more with it. But I am excited about this. Now, I did not wash, I did not pre-wash the gray, but I think it'll be fine in this. And so this is a super easy pattern. This is all slip stitch. Any place where there's color work, it's just all slip stitches, and it is charted, but whatever you do going down, all you're doing is exactly the same thing coming back. So you only look at the chart on the right side. You don't have to look at the chart on the wrong side coming back. So it was really easy to even work on that part while having conversations. So that was really nice. But man, oh man. I'm hoping that this is done the next time, and I totally copied someone else's version of it. Natasja did hers in a cream color and an almost natural white color and a blue, and I started this a couple of different times. It'd be done now if I had kept on with what I'd started with initially, but anyway, I'm loving it, and I am going to pick up along the top and do an I-cord edge just to make it a nice clean edge all the way.
You want to stop?
Alrighty, so I've got two more, but I think Janet has more.
I have one more to show you, and that's the Grace Nuts Pullover by Hobbii Locatelli.
Ooh. Man, that is pretty purple.
I know, I love it.
So the last time I was working on this, I was really concerned that I was going to have to rip it out. And so I went ahead after talking with Tammi and Claudia and blocked it. And it ended up being the 44 inches across, and I knit it longer because the sleeves it was just not deep enough. So it did not fit me very well at all. So I made this like 6.5 inches instead of the 5.5 inches that it talked about in the pattern. And it fits perfectly now. So this size is actually working for me.
Yay.
So I'm on a roll with it now that it's in the round, and I'm starting to be able to knit with it. So hopefully the next time,
Beautiful.
So gorgeous.
next time hopefully it'll be done. But this is one of those that, like Tammi was talking about, so I'm gonna want to do the neckline before I start on the sleeves on this. Even though this is a drop shoulder sweater.
Yeah. It'll
But
still pull it in a little bit.
Yeah. So, love this pattern.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
And you're doing a beautiful job with it.
I'm so glad you didn't have to rip it out.
I know. So what did you just
Yeah,
have
I
to
am
rip back
too.
a couple of rows to get back to the sleeve separation?
I had like 5 or 6 rows that I had to go back on. So,
But that's a relief that you didn't have to
Yeah.
do all that over again.
Yeah.
yeah, this is one of these sweaters where it's not really very fun at all if you have to go back, which I've had to do a couple times on it. Because you do have, it's a 12 stitch cable and it's twisted rib. And so it's just a little interesting. But
Oh my god, that's so pretty.
I'm on target with this thing now, and I've got it, so I'm zipping along on this.
That's amazing.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
so happy that it's going to work out.
Oh,
That
yeah.
looks so good.
I know, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that front. That's amazing.
Wow.
So pretty.
And so that goes down it goes over the shoulder, and oh, it does. Okay, so it just goes straight down the back on the sides from here. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's really good.
That is so beautiful. That is
purple.
beautiful.
So the yarn I used is the Wool of the Andes. Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in worsted weight, and this is Amethyst Heather. And it is really nice. Be able to graft the yarns together.
Oh, spit splice.
Spit splice. That's
Yay.
right. So,
No spit is involved.
of course,
in our
I love
spit
using my
splicing.
yarn.
I know.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got the girls that for Christmas a
Yes.
few years ago.
Yeah, I broke
The
mine.
yarn bowl.
I just love it.
Aww.
Nice.
So that's that. Happy endings. Happy endings with that.
Yeah.
It's not done yet, but
But that's a
It's
really
going
good
well now.
start. Yeah.
My watch just came apart.
Oh.
I have
Your
to fig-
Fitbit?
My
Yeah.
Fitbit. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one.
Okay, so I have a couple more, and the first one is the Latte Sweater by Kadri. And when I saw Janet's, I had to make one. And you'll all remember that I had this really awesome colorful tweed delight yarn
Yes.
from Hobbii. I mean, look at those blips of bright colors on that beautiful cream background. And I knew it needed to be something very plain. So here it is. I am working my way through, and golly, those little blips, there they go. It's
man.
catching some of them. That might be even better. They are kind of sticking out a little bit from the fabric, so I'm hoping this never needs to be gleaned because I'll shave those little nubs off, and I really don't want to. But it's coming along just fine. It's an easy knit, don't you think?
it's an easy knit, and it's just a great way to show off some beautiful yarns.
Yeah, I just thought that would be so fun,
Is that-
right?
yes.
All that bright
It's just a
speckles.
great pattern.
Yeah. So that one is just kind of when I get my sock done, I think this might be one of those patterns that I can just carry around with me because it's like a
Yeah.
no-brainer, you know?
Yes.
That's your knit, right?
Yeah, I have, another maybe 2 inches to go, and then I'll separate for the sleeves, and then it literally is just knitting in the round. So that'll be super easy. And then the last one, okay, I'm like totally excited about this one too. I have to tell you, this is the first time that every single thing I'm working on has me excited. Because sometimes you lose interest,
I
right?
know. Yes, that
This
true.
is the Helia by Joanna Ang.
Oh yeah. That's
OMG.
that means she likes it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh,
can't
the
even.
colors she's using are gorgeous.
Yeah, so let me just pull out a couple of these
Whoa.
gorgeous colors. So I am using McMullin Fiber Company Posh Sock. And it's got all these beautiful blips of color and some very light and dark tonal. This is Sense and Sensibility. And I'm holding that together with Passion Yarns Angora Love in the colorway Frozen. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. In the colorway Frozen. And so both of these are from the festival,
The Mid-Ohio Fiber
No,
Festival?
no.
The wool gathering.
the wool gathering that we went to a couple of years ago.
Yes. That's right.
And these have been just laying in my stash. Not even, I keep my mohair in a separate cabinet, and this was with its buddies. There are 3 of these. And I don't even know what I was doing, and I pulled those out at the same time and went, oh, holy moly, they need to be a thing. So I have been working on this, and it's hard to put down. Look, oh, I want it to not blow out.
You may close the blinds over
No,
there?
it's perfect now. I got it too close to the camera before, but look at the detail in those sleeves. So she has, and I still can't figure out why, but the center front is the beginning around. And I went ahead and wove in the end because it was making me crazy that it was in the center front, but it's just coming along, and the detail in these cables. I mean, that girl is like the queen of twisted stitches and amazing cables. And again, these are those 2, a lot of this, I should say. I felt like I was sitting on your phone. Sorry about that. A lot of them are the 2-stitch, the left twist, right twist. And so this has my attention also. But I promise I will get my test knit done. It's going to be hard to put all these other projects down because I really am so close on the waffle loop sweater.
You really are.
And, every 8 rows you pull your cable needles out for that one, or maybe it's not even every 8 rows, I don't even know, but I'm just in love with so many of these projects. I don't even have any dream knitting right now because my dream is just to get some of these done, and our temperatures have been close to 70. Like, I wanted it to be a nasty snowstorm while we were out when
you were in
Curacao. And I'm sorry you guys, because you were here. But when you go away, you kind of, in February, you kind of expect the weather to be crap at home. And we go down a day early, so, because we've had ice storms that have screwed our travel up, and we've been delayed a day or 2 getting to our destination, and that's no fun. So we go down a day early, and it's 70 degrees at home. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But some of these are warm sweaters, and if I want to wear them this year, I need to get my butt in gear. I mean, transitionally, spring for us can be really chilly and damp, and we'll still have an opportunity. But honestly, looking at the weather trends, in 2 weeks, we might be sitting up on the deck podcasting. It might be that nice.
It might be. That'd be nice.
So, yeah.
Although I kind of have this thing where it's like, but it's sweater weather. I want to be able to wear my sweater.
I know.
And I want to keep making
Sweaters.
warm ones.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, I had a thought. You know how you wake up in the night and you're trying to go back to sleep, and of course, knitting is what I think about most of the time, like a project I'm working on. And what popped in my head this time was the Oread that I'd started back in the summer with a very splitty yarn, and it's all these gorgeous twisted stitches, and I stopped on it. But I want to find a yarn because I really, the pattern's printed out. It's in my stack of pattern pages that I access like daily, working on all these other ones, alternating them and stuff. And I really want to get back to that. That's Andrea Borrego. I think it is Borrego, but it's definitely Andrea. Audrey. Audrey Borrego. Yeah, she makes some gorgeous things. So if you haven't checked her out, check her out on Ravelry. But I probably will have popped a photo of the Oread by Audrey. She's making some really great looking stuff right now too. But that would be the only thing I say is dream knitting, and it's not really dream because I've started it already and ripped it out because the yarn was not a good match for the project.
Yeah.
So you have a pile of yarn in front of you. Do you want to talk about some of
yeah.
that?
So this one, so I have the pattern and I've had it for a while, and it's the Forager by Isabel Kramer. And I also have some Eco Hemp in this beautiful colorway. I think it's like a cinnamon, I think is the name of it. It actually just has a number, but I think it's called cinnamon. And here's my swatch.
It's a gorgeous color.
It is a gorgeous color. And this has been sitting on my coffee table, and I keep going, I need to do that, I need to do that. So I guess I'm gonna do that. So I need to cast this on. Yeah.
Well, that'll be a good transition weight.
Yeah, because it's not super heavy, and so
What gauge is that one?
I think it's 20.
Oh, yeah. You'll get some airflow through
Yeah.
that. Holding that up to the light. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be comfy. That's
Yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot like your daily pullover weight.
Yeah. Well, the daily pullovers.
Oh, it's a fingering.
That's fingering, and this
That's
is
right.
DK.
That's right. It just reminds me of
It does.
The fabric.
Yes, it
the yarn.
does a lot.
You
Yeah.
know, the other yarn that
yarn,
reminds me of is what I used on my, and you did too, on the Rolling Rock by Thea Coleman.
Oh, yeah, the
right.
Baby
Cicero.
I know. It's a hard.
Malabrigo
Cicero.
Cicero.
Yeah,
It's
that
got
is.
that linen content.
Yeah. This isn't that, well, like you
That's
said,
hemp.
it's the hemp. But I just kept looking at that sweater and thought this would be perfect to make that. So
Yeah.
I have lots of other stuff I want to make.
Oh, I know.
Me too.
So you want me to go ahead and do this one?
Sure, yeah, because you've got, oh my gosh, two gorgeous. You
Yeah,
have
I
to
have
show
to-
both of them.
I'll show both of them. So I bought this yarn. It's a Berroco Artesia hand dyed. It's alpaca, mohair, and nylon.
So pretty.
And this is the colorway of Carnation. It's got the purple. It's kind of a purple blue, and it's got rust and pink and
All the good colors.
yeah. So I've been trying to figure out what to do with it, and so I've been doing a couple swatches. And the first swatch that I did was with, this is Knit Picks Heritage hand dyed
Hawthorne finger.
Hawthorne fingering.
Hawthorne fingering. That's what
in
it was.
Park Rose
Park
colorway.
Rose. This is a Park Rose. Yeah. And so I did a swatch, knitting this together, and gotta say I love that.
Yeah,
And you can see all the different colors in it.
you can. And that Park Rose is not blowing out. It is as gorgeously
It's
bright
pink.
as it looked on the camera.
Yeah.
It's pink and oranges mixed together.
Yeah, it's really
And
a
it's-
very pretty,
Yeah.
pretty yarn. And I really do like this, but I thought, well, let me see what it looks like if I do it with white. And so this is the one with the white, and it looks really different. But I really like it. So I'm looking for a pattern for a cardigan, because I figure I can make like little tees to go underneath it, a navy blue, pink, and
Oh, yeah.
and this rust color, and it'll be so versatile, and it'll be really fun to wear. So that's where I am with this. I haven't figured it out. I've got a couple I'm looking at. One is the Bixby, and the other one is the Edgar. The Edgar it's a 14 stitch gauge, and the Bixby 16, and this is 16, and I like the look and feel of it. So
What was the one you just finished? The home
the
cardigan?
home cardigan, yeah. That one was a little, just felt, it's oversized, and I'm not sure I would like it with this, but I don't know.
I wonder if
maybe.
you could make it less oversized.
Probably. Well, I like the Edgar cardigan because it has some interesting raglans, and then it has patterns down the side,
yeah.
and I thought that was really cute. And it's a little, only has three buttons up the front, which I kind of liked. So I'll figure
That'll
it
be
out.
really
If you
pretty.
have an idea on something, let me know, because I'm not really sure. But I think I'm getting close. And that's all that I have.
Yeah, that Artesia.
Artesia, hand dyed by Berroco. They have Berroco, I should say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beautiful different colorways, and I think I got this on Little Knits. It was on sale, of course.
So is it a discontinued colorway then?
I don't know if it is or not.
Because by the time Little Knits gets stuff, it usually is.
Although they do have some stuff. They
So-
have like Rowan felted tweed. They had a bunch
Oh,
of
and
that.
that,
Yeah, they
so-
had a Cascade 220 too.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
you
maybe
know.
they're expanding
Yeah,
what they carry.
So,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So we'll put Little Knits in our show notes. We didn't talk about that, but every single thing we discussed today will be in our show notes. So you'll have access to all of that. But we'll put a link to Little Knits. It's one of those websites where you can get really great discounts on
A
yarn.
lot of different stuff.
Yes.
And-
That's where she got hers, right? Oh, right.
Yeah, the Ballram U, Dovestone. Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. I buy a lot of stuff from them.
Yeah. So I did make a yarn purchase this time, and I did that because of that test knit. And when Samantha put that out for the Eyre cabled sweater, I signed up for the test knit right away, but I decided that I loved that pattern and I was going to make it whether she selected me or not. And I went ahead and bought yarn. And so I ordered 20 balls of Drops Wish in the Tabasco colorway. And for that pattern, I would have needed to hold this double. And so that's
pretty.
to get gauge. So I got
Soft.
20 balls, but here's the thing. I really love that pattern and the red that I'm doing it in, and I'm going to keep doing it. So now I've got 2 sweaters quantities of this because I don't really think I want to hold it double. This is nice and plump and, you know, I mean, the content of this, first of all, is 50% alpaca, 33% cotton, and 17 wool. And it's just, I think it's a blown yarn, but I don't know how I can't tell. Maybe it's a chainette. It's so fluffy, it's hard to tell, but I do believe that there's some kind of chainette maybe happening. Really, really gorgeous and a lot of depth to it. But what I wanted to tell you is I found this on Etsy from perfectyarns.com, and it's perfectyarns.com, and she has so many yarns and huge beautiful quantities, sweater quantities of all kinds of things. I mean, I got 20 balls of this all in the same colorway, and in the package she included for me this time brushed alpaca silk by Drops in these 3 absolutely glorious colors. So I don't know if there's a colorway name on here. I'm not seeing a color 24. This beautiful blush color is color 20, and then this creamy natural color is color 1. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with these yet, but maybe, yeah, when I hold them back, I think that blush color, you can see the colors a little bit better. But holy moly, what a beautiful thing to do. I will purchase from her again, and I will make sure that I link her Etsy page for you in the show notes as well.
Nice.
So, yeah, does anybody have anything else they wanted to add today?
Yes, I have a couple things, dream knitting type things. I mean, I got the castanitis.
Me
Look
too.
at all the things you're working on, Tammy. It's like, whoa, I got to get busy here.
Yeah.
So one of the things I did a swatch for is the Arco Iris by Hobbii Locatelli. And I did this little swatch. And And the recommended needle size was the US 6, and I did a swatch, and it's pretty much right on with the needle. And I'm really pleased with the fabric. So another Hobbii pattern, one after the next.
Right.
So
That's really pretty.
I'm loving this.
This is
So-
one you got at that show too,
Yeah,
right?
so I got this at the Mid-Ohio Fiber Festival. Once again, we're looking at the Sheepish Creations.
She's really,
And this is the Superwash Merino Nup.
really good.
DK
that'll be
colorway is
pretty.
tweed.
I think that's a,
This
And-
looks like a box of crayons
oh yeah.
jumped into your knitting. It's the perfect colors. Look at those. I mean, you've got
just put
everything.
that
It's
in
like
my
yellow
favorites.
and magenta and blue and green, and it's a good green. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
just.
It's really
It's,
gorgeous.
it's almost like a olive green or something. Gosh, that is so soft too.
Yeah.
yeah, that's really
So-
pretty.
Once I saw Hobbii's sweater and she had those cute little blips of color in there, I was like, this would be really nice. So using up, I have so much beautiful stash that I want to use. So I want to get that going. One of the other things that I did some swatches, a couple swatches on, was the Sharn by Elizabeth Dougherty. And I did a little flat swatch with a little bit of the color work in a couple different sizes. And then I did this little in the round swatch. And I did soak this for 2 days, so the white turned a little bit pink on it.
I like it,
So
actually.
got to be careful with it on that. But so the colors, so what I've used was the Knit Picks Capra DK, and the colorway was, what was the colorway on this? Embers Heather. And then I also used the Gallard Yarns Prime Alpaca and Natural.
So,
So-
this is the same white. The pinky white and the white are the same yarn. Mm-hmm. And so this one just soaked for a regular amount of time, and that one was 2 days.
Right. Well, this one's not pink.
No, it's not. That
Right.
one isn't at all. Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah, I didn't soak this one for 2 days. But anyway, so
What do you think?
I'm not totally convinced, but this is really the perfect fabric, I think, for that
Oh, I
sweater.
think so too. For the Sharn?
Uh-huh, for the
yeah.
yarn, because it's some
So
gorgeous,
So soft.
Yeah.
gorgeous yarns, and they're a
And
little
that is
fuzzy, and it creates this
God,
little
yes.
halo on there, and so I've got other things too on my radar that I wanted to get on the needles.
Yeah, my things on the radar is this, and that.
Right? It's the things that I keep seeing that everybody else is
Wearing.
that we're making here.
I want this. I want,
want that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we hit 2,000 subscribers. And we've decided to do another giveaway. So I need to start sewing. And so come up with something quick. We've got 20 seconds before the camera shuts off.
I think it'll be
Actually, hang in there. We'll talk about it at the tasting table.
perfect. See you there. All right.
Today's featured wine is the Justin Isosceles 2018. And Justin Baldwin, he started the winery in 1981 and in Paso Robles. We were there a couple years ago, so we actually went to Justin, and we really like their wine. And he specializes in Bordeaux blends, so all of his wines are Bordeaux blends, and they are, he says something like they're all on the perfect angle. All the wines have the perfect angle. So they're all named after different angles, and they're all really delicious.
Perfect.
So this one is a bold wine which we always seem to gravitate towards. It has notes of oak, vanilla, and chocolate. And we're looking at blackberry, black cherry, dark fruits, and raspberry and red fruits.
Boy, the oak, vanilla, and chocolate. You can smell those notes. Holy moly. That's, yeah, it's been sitting there for an hour or so. Opening up. That is lovely.
Yum. I love it. And it is,
Wow.
it does have a lot of depth to it.
The dark fruits, yeah. It's interesting that it smells one way and tastes so completely different.
Yeah, have you ever had one of those wines you smell and it's just like, oh my gosh, can I wear this?
Right.
And then you taste it and there's nothing there.
Yes,
It's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah, we have had some like that. And sometimes those are the older wines that still have the noses there, but the flavors have gone. They've just they're past, and it's just flat.
Well, some of them too. I think they have to sit and open up before the flavors develop. Of some of the newer wines, yeah.
Right.
But it's just funny to go, man, it smells
This
great.
is really earthy. This is it's kind of got an old world
It has a very fruity
nose to it. Yeah, but the flavor is very fruity. Yeah.
Yeah, the flavors are very fruity and and delicious.
I'd recommend that one. It's really good. So what does it say that the price is? I mean, it's just kind of good to know. What do they...
Yeah, this is...
Oh, okay, about $85 a bottle.
Yes. There are other angles, like the right angle is delicious, and it's a $30 bottle, so it's less expensive, but still really, really good. So.
Okay, so before we let you all go, we wanted to talk again about the giveaway. We decided in the break between that we want you to tell us about your spring knits. And that word needs to be in your comments. So spring knits, K-N-I-T-S, plural. So
Do you want it to be one word spring knits or two words?
Two words, spring knits, just like you would spell it, if you were writing those two words. But give us some ideas, because there are so many patterns coming out all the time. And there were so many last year that we missed. And it's like, once they're out there and they're gone, it's hard to get them back. So if you know of some that you're loving, like, I was talking about the Oread, that would be perfect for the summer, but I don't have really any plans for something between these wintry things that I've got on my needles and the summer things that I know that I'm going to want. But, even shawls. Spring is a good time for shawls. So if you've got any that you love, any sweaters that are in like sport weight to fingering weight, those take a while to knit, so we're going to need to know about soon. Spring's in 21 days. Yeah, we didn't say that. Today's the last day of February.
Yeah.
In 2023.
Yes, it is.
So for anybody watching in the far future, that's when we're here. I mean, once you put it out there, it's out there forever. So.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So this is a really great wine.
It is lovely. Very good.
Yeah. So we'll draw a winner, random prize winner next time, and we'll add some other things in. It won't just be a project bag, but I am going to sew project bags because we all need more since we've got cast-on-itis.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely going to need to do some fabric shopping. So
Yeah.
I guess until next time.
Thanks
for watching.
for watching, and
And
have a great
Yeah, if you can't be with the wine you love,
love the wine you're with.
Cheers.